Day Tripper from the Beatles, of course. This is a classic 60s riff. It's another Lennon tune, of course, and he would come up with some great riffers. Hey Bulldog, Dig a Pony, all those tunes. I just love those riffs. So I'm going to talk about both George's part and John's part, okay, because the rhythm guitar part is pretty cool and important as well. But let's start with the main riff first, okay? I'll play it nice and slow for you and the tabs up on the screen. And then hopefully with the tab combined with the visual, you can see what fingers I'm using and how I'm playing it. A bit about the picking in the right hand. George plays it. If you reference an old black and white promo that they did for this, you can kind of see who's playing what, when, and where, and pretty much how they played it. And George plays the riff with straight downstrokes. I don't. I kind of use a little bit of alternate picking here and there, but George plays it with all downstrokes. And of course, the song opens with that riff and they just cycle it around until the vocal comes in. Now, once the vocal comes in, it becomes very much like a blues. You play the riff twice from the sixth string, from the E string. Then you simply move the riff down toward your feet to the A string. Now it's the exact same riff, but everything is shifted down a set of strings. Where you play it one time, and then you bring it back to the sixth string and you play it one time as well. So what we have is and again, you can use all downstrokes to play that or mosh it up a little bit. Whatever feels good for you is what is best. Now, a little bit about what Lennon's playing underneath that. He's got an E7 chord, which you can see on the screen. 7, 6, 7, 5. And you can also include the open E string in the bottom and the open E string at the top, the sixth string. Any way you play it is nice, and it's classic Lennon style, just really chillin' alternate strokes in the right hand. And then he moves to an A7 bar chord, which you can also see on the screen. And this is a really important chord because they're going to use this exact shape and move it around the guitar as the song progresses. So that's what John is playing underneath George's riffs, okay? And then we move to the chorus, and this is where that A7 shape comes in that I was mentioning. They're going to use this exact shape and move it around. George and John both play something slightly different. George is more power chording it type thing. But for John's part, and probably the way you'll want to play this is with the full dominant seventh chord. So we've got an F sharp seventh at the second fret. Then we're going to move back to A7 at the fifth fret. Then A flat 7 or G sharp 7, whichever you prefer, and then C sharp 7 at the ninth fret, and then B7 at the 7th fret. So all of these chords are the exact same shape, and John is just playing it like so. Back to the riff, of course. And George, which you can kind of see from the video, there's little bits and pieces where you can kind of tell where they're playing and what they're doing. He's more or less power chording it, so he's just using the 2nd fret on the 6th string, the 4th fret on the 5th string, and the 4th fret on the D string, and you can apply a little bit of muting back here. And he's more chunking the rhythm, you know, just downstrokes. So we're at the 2nd fret. It's the same thing. He does play the C sharp and the B in a different spot, but that's pretty easy to do. So we're at the 2nd fret. 5th fret. 4th fret. And then just take that exact power chord configuration and move it down, okay? Down towards your feet, that is. So we're moving from the 4th fret to the 2nd fret. So the whole power chord section is... and you move through the whole thing again. Everything repeats, okay? But after you come off of the power chords the second time around, they move the main riff to B, which can be a little bit trickier to play. And once again, referencing that old promo video that they did back in the day, George is playing it in this area of the guitar. It's kind of difficult to tell what his specific fingering choice is. I use all 4 fingers to play it, but just, you know, play it how it works for you. If you can play it with the first 3 fingers, by all means do. But the riff, of course, goes like... So let me play that very slowly for you. So that's probably the trickiest part of the song, is just nailing that riff in B. And you can see I played it just using the first 3 fingers there. So, you know, by all means, feel free, make it work for you. Now, George jumps off of the riff in B and heads straight for his solo. So you come right off of the riff. So I'll just play the solo slow for you. It's all there in the tab, and you can see which fingerings I'm using, and so on. So here we go. So there's definitely some bending involved there. He starts at the 4th fret on the G string. Slip your finger down toward your feet to the B string, and there's a quick slide from 4 to 3. Then back to the 4th fret on the G string, 3rd fret B string, 5th fret B string. Now hit the 5th fret again at the B string and give it a full bend. Grab the E string at the 5th fret with your pinky. Let those notes kind of ring together, and then hit the B string again and release that bend. And that's sort of the first slice of the solo. Move up to the 12th fret with kind of a little bit of a slide. B string, E string 10th fret, back to the B string, back to the E string. 12th fret on the E string, full step bend, then park it, 12, 10, 12. You don't want to hear that bend falling. You want to cut it off. And then you're just jamming out on a B7 chord while the vocals are climaxing. There you go, Day Tripper from the Beatles, a classic 60s riff. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you soon.